And we got to go to another case in Melbourne where it looks like an officer ends up resigning after body cam footage shows him taking down the wrong teen. And he ended up breaking his arm when he took him down too. So let's get over into that and see what this whole thing is about.
We have new details about the Melbourne police officers in this body camera video showing a 15-year-old handcuffed and on the ground. The boy's mother says the officers mistreated her son, especially because they were looking for someone else who looks different. West News' Megan Moriarty is live for us this afternoon. Megan, you've been digging into the disciplinary history of these officers.
And I also just spoke with Judah's attorney as well. He says that that body camera video is disturbing. We received the personnel files for all 3 officers involved. And in 2 instances, 2 of the officers did not turn on their body cameras in separate incidents and resulted in a disciplinary action.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. I will tase you.
This is the moment 15-year-old Judah Everidge was taken to the ground by Melbourne police.
I know what's wrong.
The entire approach, in my view, violated pretty much every police practices that one could find.
His family has since retained an attorney after the incident. Officers were looking for a different teen whose mother called police wanting him Baker acted. Judah was helping that mother look for the teen earlier. Later, another officer spotted Judah walking across the street. A case report states Judah did not comply with commands to get on the ground and then resisted. But body camera footage shows the teen on his knees with his hands in the air before an officer takes him down and cuffs him.
I know Armani, I can explain. I know his mom. I know his mom.
You know whose mom?
Armani's mom. I was just in the car with her. I was the one in the car with her. You were there.
You Armani?
No, no. I don't know what's going on.
West 2 obtained copies of all 3 officers' personnel files. 2 officers had previous issues with turning on their body cameras. Officer Dylan Joseph was given verbal counseling for turning on his camera too late. In an email from a sergeant at Melbourne PD, it says it was determined that your failure to initiate your camera and capture the incident created an evidentiary gap during a critical portion of the incident. Officer William Markle had 2 notable complaints, one for failing to turn on his body camera and issuing an incorrect trespass order, and another for a domestic-related incident. An internal report found that a citizen reported Officer Markle for aggressive and unprofessional behavior during an encounter where the individual was allegedly sleeping in his car outside of Planet Fitness. It goes on to say Markle incorrectly issued a trespass order, and he did not have his body camera on during this encounter.
Yeah, it seems like they are quick to jump the gun, especially because he immediately, as soon as they said he got down on his knees, put his hands up, we clearly saw that in the video. Now, he might have struggled a little bit, of course, because when they put him on the ground, but overall, he was trying to comply. At least that's what I was seeing. And the fact that I want to see what this kid looks like, what the other kid they were searching for looks like, because they said they don't even look alike. And he ended up getting his arm broken. It's crazy, y'all. Let's keep going into this.
All 3 officers are still on the job. As for Judah, his attorney tells me he has a fractured elbow and is traumatized by the event.
Stepfather is former military police. This young man was raised to respect law enforcement, and now he is just deathly afraid of it.
And the 3rd officer involved was Thomas Alibis. One thing that stood out in his record was a vehicle crash with a city vehicle where he was found at fault. It was a minor crash. Now, we have all the details on all 3 of their personnel files, more details on WESH.com, and some more of that body camera footage. Melbourne PD tells us that they are investigating this incident. We did ask if anyone could speak with us today for an interview. They said no one was available. Covering Brevard County.
Crazy situation, y'all. Let's get over into I always set that up wrong. Let's get over into this next video.
There is some fallout tonight from a case of mistaken identity in Brevard County. A Melbourne police officer who restrained a teenager has resigned. We broke this story at noon. The takedown left a teen with a broken arm. West News' Megan Moriarty is live at the Melbourne Police Department with the late-breaking details today. Megan.
Officer William Markle was one of the officers involved in that incident, and last week we showed his personnel file along with 2 other officers, revealing some of the details in there. Just one day after our report, he handed in his formal resignation letter.
We know why he did that, because he knew he did something wrong. He knew how the people was going to look at that body cam footage and immediately find him guilty. So he went on and did it. He said, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and step out now.
Get on the ground. I will tase you.
I'm walking. I know his mom. I know his mom. I know his mom.
15-year-old Judah Everidge was told to get on the ground by Melbourne police officers searching for a missing teenager back in June. Officers were looking for a different teen whose mother called police wanting him Baker acted. Judah was helping that mother look for the teen earlier. Later, another officer spotted Judah walking across the street. An incident report says Judah did not comply with commands and then resisted. But body camera footage given to West 2 by police shows the teen on his knees with his hands in the air before officers get on top of him and cuff him.
You Armani? No, no. I don't know what's going on.
One of the officers involved was Officer William Markle, who submitted this resignation letter on Friday, saying, I have thoroughly considered this decision and believe it to be in my best interest to pursue new career opportunities. On Thursday, West 2 reported that Markle had 2 violations in his personnel file. One for failing to turn on his body camera and issuing an incorrect trespass order, and another for a domestic-related incident. It's not clear which officer is Markle in the video, but in his case report, he stated he saw Judah reaching under his left hip into the waistband of his blue sweatpants, and that he gave him multiple commands to lay flat on his stomach, adding he disregarded his comments. There was no weapon found on Judah. In the video, the teen's hands appear to be in the air. Markle agreed to meet with me and speak earlier today, but then later said that he needed to consult with his union representative. I reached out to Melbourne Police asking again if anyone from the department could speak with us about this incident. A representative for the department says that this is still under investigation and they have nothing further to comment on. The 2 other officers involved are still working.
Yeah, they're not going to make a comment until, especially the officer who resigned. He's not going to say anything, especially. But let's get over into this AI breakdown, y'all, just to see what else it tells us. It says we know that after the Melbourne Police Department in Florida mistakenly tackled and handcuffed a 15-year-old, fracturing his elbow during a case of mistaken identity. So we know that the 15-year-old biracial teen had actually been helping the missing boy's mother search for her son. He even spoke directly with the police minutes prior. Despite the missing teen's mother explicitly telling an officer that Judah was not her son, separate officers spotted Judah crossing the street. They yelled profanities, threatened to tase him, and forced him to the ground. I didn't hear profanities, but they definitely threatened to tase him. So while an incident report claimed that Judah resisted, body cam footage showed him on his knees with his hands raised before being aggressively tackled. In the recording, Judah can be heard screaming that his arm is being broken. So on July 9th, 2026, Officer William Markle resigned from his department following the public backlash and an ongoing internal affairs investigation. Newly released personnel files revealed Officer Markle was already on an extended probation at the time of the incident. He had a history of policy violations, including failing to activate his body-worn camera on multiple occasions and unbecoming conduct. The mother spoke out, is demanding a complete overhaul of the police training and strict accountability. The family has retained a civil rights attorney to pursue legal action. So the Melbourne Police Department administration review of the incident and specific handcuff techniques used remains ongoing. So I did want to get more details on the target they was actually looking for, not really target, but the runaway. So the intended target of the police search was a 16-year-old runaway white male who was friends with Judah. Because the missing juvenile was reported to be threatening self-harm, officers were responding to execute a protective custody pickup under Florida's Baker Act. So that is how you act if someone is facing suicidal thoughts. That's how you restrain them. You don't try to calm them down. You don't try to. I mean, I guess maybe that'll work, but I feel like you should have tried to talk to him. Yes, how you doing? I'm officer. Your mother's worried about you. Come with us. And if he refuses, then yeah, you grab him and you take him with you. But immediately tackle him to the ground. So the specific breakdown of the physical description and highlights highlighted. So we got a 16-year-old white male who was described as being a much smaller build than Judah. At the time of his disappearance, his parents reported him wearing all black clothing. Judah, a 15-year-old biracial male, was visibly larger build. He was wearing white shirt and blue jeans. Before the wrongful takedown, the missing boy's mother had already explicitly pointed out Judah to the Melbourne police officer, saying that Judah was a friend helping her look for her son, and clearly confirmed that is not my son. Moments later, the actual target reportedly returned and presented himself directly to his mother in front of the same officer. So despite the stark visual difference, the target already being located, someone nearby suddenly yelled that the person was running. Other officers down the street spotted Judah jogging across Lake Washington Road. Judah later explained that he was running because he thought he caught a glimpse of his missing friend and was trying to catch up to him. Separate responding units immediately assumed Judah was the fleeing target, ignored his clothing and race, and aggressively forced him to the ground. The actual runaway was safely secured in protective custody shortly thereafter. Wow. The world's truly a crazy place, but I mean, we gotta tell it like it is. That's a lawsuit. That's going to be a big lawsuit, and the city's going to have to pay for it. And it's crazy that these officers, they said 2 officers didn't even put on their body cams. I'm not surprised one of them resigned. But, I mean, I'm trying to think, what else would they want him to do? What else is the public expecting from the officers? Resignation. I'm assuming he can go and apply for another police department role, but this is a crazy situation, y'all. We have to look at this and see exactly what's going to be the outcome of this whole situation.